They are some of the most coveted voters in American politics, independents. But the notion of a classic swing voter could be a thing of the past. While today, more Americans identify as independents than Republicans or Democrats. In a new CNN poll, we broke those people down into some key subgroups. There's the lookalikes, which may reject the party label but still align on a lot of issues. There's the disappointed middle, the upbeat outsiders, what we would more traditionally think of as a swing voter. And finally, the checkout, who are largely uninterested in politics. Let's bring in pollster and communications. Frank, always good to have you, especially on a Saturday night. Thanks for being here with us. We kind of toss around independent voter. It was great and interesting to see how in our polling we were able to kind of begin to kind of put people into different pockets and make more sense of this. Tell me more about how you think of an independent voter and what you got from this information.
Well, I love that checked out column.
Yeah.
Because those are the unaffiliated. They really don't care. They're not following the news. They're not engaged. And they typically do not vote in elections. So they're less important. The ones that matter most are those who are rejecting both the Republicans and the Democrats. They're truly independent because they're independent of both sides. And I note that so many people describe themselves as independent, but I have to warn you and warn viewers, most people who call themselves independent still have a preference. They will say independent because it sounds good. They think it sounds good, but in reality, they've chosen sides. And the percent that haven't chosen sides, the percent that actually goes and swings between one party and another, in my work is down to about 10%. And that's problematic because that means that everybody has already made up their minds before they turn on their TV, before they collect their news, and most importantly, before they vote.
As we're looking at these numbers, knowing what you've just described, why then do you think, as you even said, they think it sounds better to say independent? Why do you think we're at a moment where so many voters are rejecting the title or the identification with either party?
It's a great question. It's because it goes with some baggage that I can give you 3 or 4 reasons why people don't want to be labeled a Democrat, and the same thing for the Republicans. And by being independent, they sound sophisticated. By saying that they're independent, people will spend time with them and try to win them over to their side. The truth is they've already chosen that side, and the fact is that we are becoming more ideological, more polarized with every passing month, and you can see it in the government shutdown, you can see it in the big, beautiful bill, that Americans are saying to Washington in particular, enough is enough.
We also, in our poll, find most people think that America's best days are behind us. 46% say they're ahead of us, 54% say they're behind us. Does that match what you're hearing out there?
Yes, it does. And it could be even worse. And what they're saying is that the country that they were expecting to receive is not the country that they've gotten. And the most important aspect of this, do you have a better life than your parents did when they were your age? Almost every American says yes. Will your kids have a better life than you when they get to be your age? Almost everyone now says no. And that's the source, that's the core of this anger and frustration. That's the reason why people are so pessimistic, whether it's the environment or the economy or social services or government that doesn't seem to listen. We all have our different reasonings, but we all agree on one thing. We were to believe that America would get stronger, would get tougher, would get better, and we question whether it is right now. And there's a difference. Republicans and Trump voters do believe that the best days are ahead of us. Democrats and leftists, liberals or progressives, do believe our worst days are behind us. This is a perfect question where there is a partisan chasm between the GOP and the Democrats.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. If it did break down in what you're seeing on party line, and if it's actually that our country's become so politicized that people are feeling this way, or if indeed people truly believe that the country is just not, it's fallen short of what it's promised.
It's both of those.
Yeah.
You're correct both ways. And the problem is the public is looking for someone to say in a single word, all caps, exclamation point, enough. Enough with this. Enough. And if the government does shut down on Wednesday, both parties are going to get hurt. Donald Trump his supporters are absolutely behind him, but his opponents are absolutely against him. There is no common ground anymore. There's no one in the center for this. And I do believe that we're reaching a breaking point. And I warn viewers that at some point the public says enough about democracy. And I believe we're heading in that direction where they simply believe this is not solvable and there's no way to come together. And that scares me.
And so knowing that, is there any solve for what you're describing there, for what scares you? Is there a way out of that?
It will be an elected leader who says, I'm willing to listen. It'll be an elected leader who says, I don't have all the answers, but I have to throw it back to you. I don't think there's anyone like that. Make no mistake, Donald Trump, President Trump, will benefit from his own people if the government does shut down. The Democrats will benefit from their own people if they are tough with the president. Both sides will win, but both sides will lose, and in the end, America loses.
All right. Always interesting to get your take on this, Frank Luntz. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.